knows. So every time he say it didn't happen, or that's the only thing that makes this become an issue to everybody. Because you seen what I said in the Vibe article. I basically bowed out and was gonna go ahead about my life. The next issue, that wasn't even the next issue, because them cowards waited about 4 issues before they got their story together. 4 issues later, half of New Yorkers commenting on me, and before they was all like, we didn't see nothing.
Now let's talk to him. Man, I want to talk to Puff right now.
Yes.
Now, it was this documentary that claimed, which we know wasn't true.
Yeah. Check this out. We don't talk about things that are nonsense. We don't even entertain nonsense, my brother. So we're not even going to go there, with all due respect. But I appreciate you as a journalist asking.
All right.
Thank you.
I wouldn't have never met him. I wouldn't have never been involved in this. You know what I'm saying? If I would have never met the brother, I wouldn't have never been involved in this. Really.
You understand what I'm saying? Nobody know why. But Puff had an obsession with him for whatever reason it was, because he started wanting to act. He started wanting to rap. He had an obsession so bad that at his Grammy Award winning speech, he used the same speech that Pac used.
You say Suge looks over, he sees you. He looks right at you?
Yeah, he looks at me.
Okay. When he looks over at you, and then, Tupac's busy getting... The story is Tupac's trying to either get out
in
of
the back seat or something.
Yeah, what do you see happening inside of their car?
I seen a bullet going Suge's head. I thought he was dead.
So Orlando across Dre?
He leaned over on the window, we rolled down the window, popped.
Who was it?
They would drove on my side, I would popped them. You know what I'm saying? But they was on the...
He called me back in the day. He called me, he was like, I just want you to know I ain't have nothing to do with your brothers. I know who you are, but we never met. And I just want to call you man to man, let you know that I ain't have nothing to do with your brother's death. Now, why was he calling me, reaching out to me? Because LA Times had just dropped, it was in the early 2000s, LA Times had just dropped an article in the newspaper implicating him as well. I told him I appreciate the call, but the truth is yet to come out. So the boy Puffy called me though. Puffy called me back in the day. He called me, he was like, I just want you to know I ain't have nothing to do with your brothers. I know who you are, but we never met. And I just want to call you man to man, let you know that I ain't have nothing to do with your brother's death. Now, why was he calling me, reaching out to me? Because LA Times had just dropped, it was in the early 2000s, LA Times had just dropped an article in the newspaper implicating him as well.
The world of hip-hop is ablaze once again with shocking revelations surrounding the untimely death of Tupac Shakur. After nearly 3 decades, new evidence has emerged, placing one of the industry's most iconic figures, Sean Diddy Combs, at the center of the storm. The FBI and federal prosecutors are collaborating on a massive investigation, aiming to unravel the decades-old mystery of Tupac's murder. Could this finally be the moment when justice prevails? Tupac Shakur's death in 1996 wasn't just a tragedy. It was the catalyst that fractured the world of hip-hop. The investigation has now taken a critical turn, focusing on Diddy's alleged role. As prosecutors dig deeper, the story becomes more complex. Keefe D isn't the only figure casting shadows on the narrative. His nephew, Orlando Anderson, long suspected of pulling the trigger, is a key piece of the puzzle. Though Anderson is no longer alive, his role in the events of that night continues to haunt the investigation. A new twist emerged when an anonymous witness came forward, claiming they overheard a conversation between Diddy and Keefe D at a Los Angeles nightclub in 1996. According to their statement, Diddy allegedly said, "Handle it, and you'll get what's promised." While the authenticity of this account is still under review, it has given prosecutors fresh ammunition in their case. Amid the chaos, former death row artist and Tupac confidant, Danny Stretch Taylor, has resurfaced to share his perspective. Stretch, who worked closely with Tupac during the height of his career, paints a picture of a man constantly looking over his shoulder. Pac knew something was coming, Stretch says. He felt it in his bones, but he didn't know where it was going to come from. Stretch isn't the only one speaking up. Suge Knight, currently serving time in prison, has once again entered the conversation. Knight, who was in the car with Tupac the night of the shooting, remains defiant, claiming he knows who was behind the hit. In a recent jailhouse interview, he stated, "I ain't saying too much yet, but people know who they are. Ain't no secrets in the streets." While Diddy maintains his innocence, cracks are beginning to show in his once loyal circle. Former Bad Boy Records executive Marcus Big Tone James has reportedly been subpoenaed to testify about the label's activities during the mid-90s. Big Tone, known for handling security and logistics for Diddy, has kept a low profile in recent years, but insiders claim he holds critical information about the events leading up to Tupac's death. Adding to the intrigue, Faith Evans, who was married to Biggie Smalls at the time, is rumored to have been approached by investigators. While Evans has avoided commenting on the case publicly, sources close to her suggest she is considering cooperating to clear her name and distance herself from the ongoing legal drama. Tupac's mother, Afeni Shakur, may no longer be alive, but her legacy continues through Tupac's siblings. Mopreme Shakur has been vocal, urging authorities to leave no stone unturned.
Puffy gave Zip $1 million that was supposed to be handed over, and Zip ended up keeping it. And I remember when I interviewed T.K. Kirkland, who was actually roommates with Zip at one point. They were that close. He actually said, yeah.
The feds said that too.
He said that shit actually happened. Yeah, and he even said that, like, in retrospect, that was probably the best thing that could have ever happened to Puffy. By Zip stealing the money, now Puffy isn't connected to that shit. Or else it would have been like a murder for hire or something. You know what I'm saying?
The FBI said Zip.
So the FBI told you the same
he was
thing?
a dirty motherfucker, yeah.
So the FBI told you that Zip kept that money as well.
They said Zip's a dirty motherfucker. Everybody cross you. You're the last one to know every fucking thing. Even lawyers, your friends, everybody can cross your ass. You just don't know. Even the dudes you was riding in the car with every day, like a low jack. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, well, I mean, like I said, Zip had a history of ripping people off.
Yeah. He never ripped me off.
Well,
otherwise he wouldn't have.
Did he technically do? I mean, if he kept the money that supposedly.
True.
So actually, he ripped you off for $1 million.
Yeah. If that's what happened, yeah. They sure said it. The FBI said that. The people down